Sunrise Extra on a Friday. Rod is getting his chair. It's called
getting my chair. Here comes Sean, right here.
And I was like, why is he wearing that?
Thank you very much. It's the chair transfer right there.
It's a new day, people. We have started something.
Thank you.
Safety.
I appreciate
Safety
that.
first.
I appreciate that. I feel like setting during Sunrise Extra is going to extend my career by at least 5 years.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
As well you should.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday.
Yes.
So Rod's got his chair. We've all got our chairs now finally after standing for 2 hours. So it is Good Friday. We are talking kind of a whole bunch of pandemic-related stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
My husband and I, because all of us here on Sunrise have to go to bed so dang early.
Yes.
That I've been missing watching Top Chef Portland live. It airs at 8 p.m., which is out of the question. So I've been catching up watching the episodes after the fact. So we were watching the latest one last night. And as I was scrolling social media, I came across a posting from one of my very favorite restaurants, a fantastic place in Portland called Ataula. It's on Northwest 24th and Thurman. And they announced that they're permanently closing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, he made just Spanish tapas. He is Spanish, Chef Jose and his wife Christina. And it was, it won so many awards. Just fantastic food, great hospitality, great family and staff that ran it. And this one really hit me hard. Between this and Pok Pok have been the biggest,
was one of my favorites.
Really bad hits for me. And they had just opened another restaurant called Masia in the lobby of a hotel. But now I can't remember what it's called. It's across from the Sentinel downtown, just when the pandemic opened, and there's no hotel guests, Yeah. And so that one closed, and now this one closed, and now they are completely out of work. They have 2 little kids, the story of so many people in this situation.
So what are they going to do?
I don't know. They said they're gonna, he wrote a big long Instagram post and has gotten so much love, in the comments from people, and they said when they'll try, it was a landlord issue. You can't not pay rent, and the landlord's got to kind of move on at some point too. So I see both sides. Yeah. So they're going to open, they're like, we'll be back in some way when we can. But it got me kind of thinking, let's give some love to, some of your favorite restaurants that are still struggling and still, opening the doors every day. So you guys shout out in the comments, some of your favorite places, or maybe, ones that have closed and you're kind of mourning them a little bit. Yeah. We're also, later on in the show, we're going to be talking about a poll that we did on colleges, because some of them are coming out now and saying they are requiring proof of COVID vaccine before you can come back on campus and in-person classes. So we've got Willamette University so far and Lewis and Clark.
Yep.
There's our poll up, so you guys can go to Twitter right now, weigh in with us. You can see everyone mostly saying yes, they should have the vaccine to come back. A lot of students, in a lot of districts already have to have vaccines, measles, mumps, rubella, tetanus, all kinds of stuff.
Well, how do the people on the other side justify that? Because you do, to get your kid in to primary school, you have to be vaccinated. There's exclusion day if you're not vaccinated by that deadline.
And you just
they
have
can't
to have
come
a
back
paper signed,
to school. And with these latest COVID vaccinations, they are allowing some exemptions for religious and medical reasons, so it's not just a total blanket. Yeah. My daughter and I were sitting on the couch yesterday watching some news here on KGW, and that story came on, and literally Jaden put both of her hands up and she was like, yes, she is all about the colleges requiring that, as kids have to go back.
Yeah. So anyway, well, whatever you guys want to talk about, weigh in on. We already got Lori on Facebook saying she loves Sailor's Country Kitchen.
Oh,
that's over on the east side. What street is that on?
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
yes.
It's right next to 205. I think
that's
near
right.
Mall 205. But yeah, that's been around for a long time. So
Susan Decker says Takahashi.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, Nina, you are my go-to for any restaurant suggestions. You are the resident foodie. Half the places, 3/4 of the places that you know and love, I have never even been to. So whenever I'm looking for a new place, I hit up Nina, and she sends me long lists.
It's so hard now to figure out, what is what's temporarily closed, what is sadly permanently closed, what's only doing takeout, what is doing dine-in.
Yeah.
Christy Shirk says, good morning, happy Friday. And then Jennifer Taft is bringing up this. She says, Oregon has such a huge loophole. You just sign a paper to be exempt. Yeah, for religion or other reasons, medical.
Alicia says, Russell Street Barbecue.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one there on the east side. Freddie Weaver is worried. He says, what? The country kitchen closed? No. People are, we did have a prominent restaurant in Portland, kind of fine dining Spanish tapas called Ataula, announced last night that they are permanently closed, but we wanted to give some love to the places still going. So somebody shouted out Sailor's Country Kitchen. So what are your guys' favorites?
One spot up in Vancouver that unfortunately we did lose is the Grant House. It was a restaurant in one of the historic homes on Officers Row in Vancouver. And there have been several owners take that property and put restaurants in since I've lived here in my 20 plus years. They were the best, the owners that announced that they couldn't make it anymore. But they had such wonderful food, and of course hoping that them well in the future, and then also kind of keep my fingers crossed that somebody else will be able to take over that space at some point, because I just love going down to Officers Row, right? It's so beautiful, and they had the outdoor seating for the summer months as well, so missing that and thinking about the owners that had to say goodbye.
I have not been to our new place in Clackamas. There are lots of little places around there, but we have not gone inside anywhere to sit down and dine in. But there is a cute little pod of food carts. It's right off Sunnyside. And there is one Mexican place that I can't remember what they call it, like elevated Mexican or whatever, but they have those big old burritos that are just absolutely amazing. And we'll go there because they have a nice like little space that's kind of indoor outdoor. It's kind of open to the elements.
Is that the Happy Valley food cart pod?
I think that's exactly.
And they have a big indoor area,
like
and then it's kind of covered around the square. Yeah, I did a news story on them when they first opened. They have great stuff. It's
they really do.
Space too.
They have all kinds of different food.
So Cassie Taylor says, I love how she worded this. Somehow we ended up eating at 2 Peruvian joints this week. Don't know how that happened.
2 of them.
Yum.
Char Latin Grill. And then
chicken and guns.
And then chicken and guns, both delicious. She says, yeah, chicken.
That's our producer, Cassie. Thanks for waiting, Cassie.
Oh, that is Cassie. I'm always the last to connect.
Somebody else, David White, seconding Sailor's Country Kitchen.
There you go. Also, where did it go? Cascade Ducell was answering the question that I had earlier about the COVID shot. She says, I hear people who have that opinion say that other vaccines being required is okay because they're approved, and the COVID vaccines are not yet approved other than for emergency use. So maybe it's a little bit of a safety question, although they say, even though it's just emergency authorization, that they are safe.
Of course, questions with the J&J.
Oh, do we have some tag board, did you say? Okay, here we go. Trace says Renee's on Main Street in Oregon City. Want to give a shout out to them. They're keeping on going. Thank you so much for weighing in. Do we have any more?
Renee Robertson, Mingo? Oh, yeah, you're reading off the screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
Susan says the Wild Pear and Amadeus in Salem. Those are good names.
Yeah.
I like that. Angie says Cindy's Chinese Garden in Redmond.
Hey, Central Oregon, shout out. Yeah.
I love that. Linda says Giovanni's in Beaverton. That sounds yummy. And what does that say? Chris, I am a lifelong fan of Ingrid's Good Street Food in Vancouver. Have you heard of that, Rod?
I have not. I like the name.
Ingrid's personality and her story are simply amazing. I wonder what kind of food it is. You'll have to look
She
that
gives
up.
you a story while you're eating. I love
Yes.
it. Love it. Yeah.
And go ahead and, if you're posting those, tag the restaurant so we can get the loop going.
Yeah, no
Christy Shirk says in Tillamook, Werner's is so good. I will miss their salad bar. And then Trixie Hall shouts out the Eagle Creek Saloon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Renee Robertson, Mingo in Beaverton is wonderful. They have outdoor seating. My cousin's husband used to be the restaurant manager of Mingo. I've been there many times.
Really?
It is awesome, yeah.
Chris Lee says Smoky Hearth in Sandy, Oregon.
Nice.
Did you read Howard Wright's yet? Did I miss that? Just found a new favorite, been there twice, and now it's closed. Oh, bummer. Arleta Library Cafe on Southeast 72nd near Herald. Well, that's too bad.
I think there's going to be, like when it's safe, maybe in the fall or something when, most people have vaccines, certainly a lot of the restaurant community. There's a lot of places for lease, spaces for lease, and I think landlords are just going to want, people in those buildings. And so a lot of people, I think, are going to come up with new concepts, or people who've always wanted to, get into the restaurant business and really kind of work it out in that it's such a hard business. But, we're going to see so many new restaurants, I think, bouncing back, and new people maybe with food carts that want, to do a brick and mortar, especially like with Top Chef Portland airing right now. I think our city, it is just so sad. I think we're watching Top Chef, and this is such a great boom for our city, but we are seeing these big restaurants.
And they shot that right during the wildfires even. They were here at such a weird time between the fires and COVID and everything. Cascade says, my favorite place to eat in PDX is the Vertical Diner. It's vegan on Barber, and she says, so good.
Oh, that's right.
So is anybody else like, I just keep having this thought of, people, please don't mess this up. When we keep seeing these COVID cases rising, talk me back from the ledge. What do you think about that?
I think it's young people, I think hospitalizations aren't bad, and, we're going to see cases until most people can
get vaccinated,
keep getting appointments.
So the state metric is statewide hospitalizations have to be below 300. We're at like 280 something, I believe.
To what? Keep it from going to
extreme risk from high.
And that would close down indoor dining,
Right.
And that's in the entire state of Oregon, is that right?
Yeah, statewide hospitalization.
I mean, keep that in perspective.
So young people are spreading it the most. We've got these variants happening that spread easier. So it's spreading faster among young people. However, young people are far less likely to be hospitalized, which is good. And the older, more vulnerable folks, hopefully, they've had several months, weeks to get a shot. And so their rate is really slowing down.
Yeah, and Jenny Carlson weighing in on that. The issue is resistant strains as well. Yeah, the variants. I hear you.
Are you guys ready for Joshua?
Oh, yeah, go.
Good morning, Joshua Madrid. Good morning, he says. I could easily write a long list here, but I'll be a little selfish and suggest the folks come into the Multnomah Whiskey Library. Is that where Joshua works?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
We're open Wednesday through Sunday, and it's easier now more than ever to walk in and get a table. He says, cheers.
Yeah.
Joshua in a good mood this morning.
And Joshua, it was one of the hardest places to get into. It was the premier, cool bar, still is. It's beautiful inside. I've gone in a couple times, and they have, what is that front room called? The green room?
Yeah.
I think it's all green tile, and it's really beautiful too. But yeah, I mean, you had to know someone, you had to have a membership, you had to go that morning to ask for a table and then leave and come back, and it is very, but I guess if
now
you
can
just get a table, we gotta go. I'm gonna go.
Let's put up a few more tag boards, some of the comments that we're getting on our socials. We could read a couple of those as well as the folks on the stream. Yeah. So Katie says, how do you say that?
Tiote.
And Lardos?
Oh, yeah, Lardo.
Yeah, Tiote. I've not heard of it. Okay, what else do we have? Next one. John says, Milwaukee Pizza Company, best pizza around. I mean, pizza's got to be one of my favorite foods.
They've done well in this pandemic.
Yeah. Ann says, Old Mill in Estacada, really good hamburgers and breakfast. Yum. And we also have Michelle, Spud Monkeys in Gresham, best name ever.
I saw they opened one of those in the Hollywood district in Northeast Portland, but they opened maybe a couple weeks before the pandemic, and it's now closed there. And they had a sign on their window, we didn't even get to know you.
I should have mentioned this. I'm feeling neglectful because McMinnville is my hometown. Eleanor, I agree. The Sage soup is awesome. I recommend the broccoli cheese. Great bread. I mean, loaves that are twice your head size.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the best. Sandwiches, salads, absolutely. They do such a good job at the Sage.
Sounds good.
And Kathy, Colvin's in Clatskanie, Oregon. Everything is good.
Nice. Yeah, and these are some good ideas, especially, if you're going on a road trip or something like that. Cascade Ducell says, a pizza Shoals. Oh, man, now I'm hungry. Yeah, no kidding. Other people shouting out pizzerias. Kevin York says 48 North Pizzeria in Tigard and North Portland has one too. Pizza has done, I think, I mean, I may be off base, but I feel like they've done pretty well. You know, they know how to do takeout. They know how to do delivery. It has been, you know, the niche kind of food business to be in.
We did have that one sad story. Remember, I think Catherine did it. A Vancouver pizza company, which is in the village there in Vancouver, that did go out of business, and they had been a staple there for 25, 30 years. But I think I'm just surmising they had recently expanded, and I think maybe that was the squeeze. Where obviously, if you just expanded, then COVID hits.
Rents,
unfortunately, that was just horrible timing.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we've gotten some great restaurant recommendations. What do you think about the schools and colleges, mostly colleges and universities, I guess is the question. Should they be requiring the COVID vaccine for students and staff to come back on campus? And, you know, as our Twitter poll shows, and I put this on Instagram too, and it was a little closer on Instagram than it is here, but about 67% of you saying yes, they should.
So the University of Oregon and Oregon State both say that they encourage vaccinations, but they are not requiring them at this point.
Require, Brenda, do you know, it's well documented that a lot of elementary or primary schools throughout the decades have required immunizations.
I'm gonna look that.
Colleges, I mean, I don't remember ever having to show that when I went to school way back in the 80s. Do you know what the situation is there? If they require anything historically?
No, I don't. I don't remember it. My producer was just saying in my ear, and maybe you can repeat it, but you said meningitis. Did you have to get a meningitis shot before you could go to college? What school? Lamar University. Okay.
Okay, so Oregon requires immunization against 11 vaccine preventable diseases to go to school. Diphtheria, tetanus, whooping cough, polio, chickenpox, measles, mumps, rubella, that's one thing. Hepatitis B, hepatitis A, and something called HIB. This is only for kids under 5. So 11 required immunizations for school kids in Oregon right now as it stands. So, I mean,
but that doesn't,
it stands to reason you would just add COVID to that list.
But that does not include, you said under 5?
That was just that last vaccine. HIB is only for children under 5.
Do we know if that is, though, is that all schools, like public universities?
Let me see.
Because it seems like that's pretty common knowledge that in elementary school you have to have your shots, the old saying goes. But
right. Cascade says colleges have started doing this pre-pandemic. I want to say the last 10 to 15 years it started.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. And then Susan says, I don't think they can actually require anything until at least it has full FDA approval. But yes, after approval, it should be required.
I wonder how long
they can't require it.
That process is going to be.
Oh, shit, too young to remember smallpox, right? Okay. Did you? I'm sorry, Rod. Go ahead and.
Well, I was just kind of talking to myself, Brenda. I wonder, you know, full FDA approval, something beyond what we have now, I guess, in this so-called emergency status. Meaning, I just wonder how long it's going to be before.
Okay, so here's the answer.
Vaccination would go full approval. Yeah.
So those 11 immunizations that I just mentioned are for K through 12th grade in Oregon. Then it says immunizations required for college. Any full-time student needs to show they've been vaccinated against measles when enrolling in a college or university. Community colleges, students participating in health, education, early childhood education, and intercollegiate sports are required to meet measles immunization requirements in community colleges. Colleges can require on their own that students have additional vaccinations.
Okay.
But the state only requires measles.
When do you guys get your second shot? Nina, yours, is it coming up soon?
In 1 more week, May 3rd.
You're May 3rd?
Yep.
I've still got to go get the first one.
Oh, look at producer Brian says this Thursday. Okay, wait, let's see. I got to look and see when mine is. Mine's on the 3rd, May 3rd. I thought you were before me.
I was. They made my appointment for me, so I don't know.
Interesting. Are you at the Oregon Convention Center?
Airport.
Okay, I'm at the Oregon Convention Center. Rod, you're holding out?
Well, no, I just, I guess I'm holding out for an easy path, meaning
he wanted the Johnson & Johnson one shot.
Well, yeah, and I still would prefer that.
Yeah.
So I am kind of waiting to see if that's going to be released back out. And then I've been kind of doing the Safeway Albertsons
Checking.
website,
Yep.
but every single time I get an email saying these are the open appointments, by the time I get to that spot, it's like, nope, they're all gone.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of trying to get in what I'm calling the easy path. Yeah.
Sharon says Hib is the vaccine for H influenza B.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Did you say that?
It's only for little kids.
All right,
Really?
y'all. I've got to get running because I've got to do the Today Show cut-ins.
All right, you guys, happy Friday. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye.
Willie Huey says PDX sliders. I know a Drew favorite.
Drew's favorite. Bye.
Have a good day.